Facebook channel and also on our YouTube channel, radio_2000. So make sure that you catch us there and you'll see the ladies that I have in studio. Thank you very much to Taviso Musia and the Game On team. They are back again tomorrow evening at between 6 and 7 in the evening. Thank you very much to the news team as well. News is back at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Remember, 9 o'clock just as joins us with a Mino on the wireless. And then also remember that we've got 2 hours to go. So in the first hour, we're talking women, and more women. We want to wrap up this Women's Month nicely. Can women have it all? And what does having it all mean? That's what we're talking about in the first hour. And in the second hour, Mind, Body and Soul with Dr. Sviwe Mila. And we'll be talking about the liver, how it works, how it functions, how you can have a healthy one, what happens when you don't have a healthy one. No, not that, how we say to people, no, that's something else. No. Yo, in a footer is a no. That's not what we're talking about. But anyway, you want to be part of that conversation. That will happen just after the 8 o'clock news. For now, though, it is time to talk about women having it all. Can we have it all?
Call Mapaseka now on 086 000 2479. Send your voice notes on WhatsApp to 060 584 2250. Relationship Tuesday on Life, Love and All with Mapaseka Mokweli, Radio 2000.
All right, so we continue with the show. It's 16 after 7 right here on Radio 2000 from the get-go. You can just join us. You can feel free to call us, send us your voice notes. Let's have a chat. Let's talk about it on 086 000 2479, or you can send us your voice notes on 060 584 2250. The question that I'm asking you this evening: can women have it all? And what does having it all look like for you? That's what we're talking about today. We joined in the studio, I did say, amazing ladies in the studio. I've got Nhlanhlo Mkhize, who's a life coach. She's not new to the show. You've heard her before. We then also have Lala Tuku, who's head of local productions here at the SABC. Guys, we brought the bosses today. Okay. Right. I'm just putting it out there. Right. I'm just putting it out there.
We love it for ourselves.
Yes. Ladies, welcome.
Hi, Mapaseka. How are you?
Thank you for being here. I'm great. Are you guys good too?
Good evening. Thank you so much for having us. So fabulous to be here, and good evening to your listeners, and happy Women's Day as we wrap it up.
Happy Women's Month.
And Women's Month. It's forever going to be.
It's going to be.
For the whole month.
Mamela, and we keep it that way, okay?
Yes.
It stays Happy Women's Month, and we continue with that. I must say, both of you on social media, guys, please follow them on social media. Lala Tuku and Nhlanhlo Mkhize. Fun times. Fun times all around. Fun times all around. I actually enjoy stalking people on social media. I must say, you guys are fun pair to follow.
And we feel like we know each other, right?
This is the thing.
So when I met you just now, I was like, Konje, had we met? Should I be
best
like, my name is?
Besties
on social media.
I mean, we best the Pumbas, I mean, I don't understand what's going on. Ladies, what does having it all mean? You look like you have it all, both of you. What does having it all mean?
Well, when I was going through my prep, just thinking about what we're going to talk about, my first thought was, can anyone have it all? Is it even possible
to have it all?
To have it all, not just for women, but for anybody. Is that even possible?
Or what does it look like?
And then the coach in me wants to start there to define what all is. What does all look like? Because my all might not be your all, might not be Lala's all.
You've just reminded me that I'm a coach, because, I mean, that's the first thing that came to mind. Okay.
Absolutely. So... And that is where I would like to start.
Okay.
That's where I'd like to start defining all. What is all, and what does it mean?
But I mean, I think, what does all look like to you? Yeah. That should be the question that we're asking. You're right when you say my all and your all and Lala's all don't necessarily need to be Sibongile's all.
Absolutely, and then our ability to answer whether we can have it all or not depends on what all is and what it looks like.
Okay.
Because then the answer is different, because it is personal.
Right now, do you have it all?
No.
What don't you have? What's the part of the all that's missing?
Because all changes. my all changes.
And our all changes.
And our all should change because
And
we
it's
are
important.
changing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We evolve.
Absolutely.
That's important. Lala, do you have it all?
This is a very interesting question. It's a very important question. And I think for me is, what actually are we asking? We're saying, Lala, as a mom, as a parent, do you have it all? Lala, as an executive, do you have it all? And the question has been asked for a couple of years in history. And everyone is saying there's been yeses, there's been no's, there's been... And I'm so excited tonight to hear Nhlanhlo also saying it actually is very dependent.
Yeah.
It's so personal. It's such a...
It's personal.
It's personal. But my issue, as I was also deliberating on this question earlier, I was like, do the structures allow me to have it all?
Before we even get to the structures, I don't even want to talk about the external structures yet. I want us to take a break. When we come back, I want us to talk about the internal structures. Are we allowing ourselves to have it all? Women are hard on themselves. Women are very, very hard on themselves. So let's talk about that when we come back.
This is your safe space on Life, Love and All with Mapaseka on Radio 2000. Call Mapaseka now on 086 000 2479. Send your voice notes on WhatsApp to 060 584 2250.
For some of us, COVID-19 is still a big issue as it can make us really sick. We can still get the vaccine to give our bodies the added protection we need.
On Life, Love and All, and we're talking about exactly that, life, love and all for women. What does it look like? What does having it all look like in this day and age? Maybe let me not even say day and age. What does it look like today? Because maybe in a month's time, all will be different. And that's okay too. So all will change and all of that. Lala, you mentioned, if you've just joined us, you've missed out on a bit, but it's okay. We'll allow you to join us now, and then let's go on until the end of the hour. But just know that we are talking to Lala Tuku, who's head of local productions at the SABC. We're also talking to Nhlanhlo Mkhize, who's a life coach. Now, Lala, you mentioned just before we went on a break about if the structures allow for us to actually have it all. And I said to you, I think the most important structures are the internal structures that we need to talk about.
Absolutely.
Do we allow ourselves to have it all? Do we even, I'll give you a simple example. If you put out an advert for a job, and you say, I'm looking for head of HR.
Yeah.
for example, you will find a guy who will apply who does not have experience, but he's like, I can wing it. You know, you've said, I want a person to have NQF 9, NQF 10, and they're like, that's not bad. NQF 6, 7, that's not bad. I can get there. I can wing it. You know, I want you to have 10 years experience. I have 5. Not bad. He'll apply.
Sure.
You will find a woman who says, oh my gosh, for me to get that position, I need to have 3 PhDs.
Yeah.
I need to have 15 years of experience. Oh my gosh, maybe I need to have so much more, and maybe get there and try and sleep with the boss.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's so much that needs to happen in our space. Why?
It's crazy, and it's so personal. I think we were taught to sit still. We were taught to cross our legs. And we were taught not to talk too loudly. And the little boys were taught to go in the jungle gym, make as much noise as you can, come back dirty, and you will be looked after.
Because boys will be
And so we grew up with that. And I can say that with absolute confidence and with fullness, because the imposter syndrome is a voice that I had to lower within myself. And when I engage with other women and as we talk as friends, it's so we are all suffering from this thing because we've needed so much external affirmation that we've struggled to say it's okay. And so having to learn that, and I guess the big thing is, how do you start to put structures within yourself that say it's okay?
So it's a sort of self-regulation of sorts.
Absolutely.
That we do.
One of the things I had to quickly say to myself is, it's okay to be excellent at my job and as being a mom. And I do that boldly. So if my phone rings now, Mapaseka, it's my daughter flashing.
You're going to be like, hello, Nana.
Please wait 1
We're
second.
like,
I
baby,
need
we
to
are
do
live.
that. Because, and that's the external structures that don't allow us to get there. Because I'm expected to behave in a certain way. And so this question becomes important, because if we shy away from it, because a lot of people are like, we should not be asking ourselves in this day and age, can we have it all? But it's actually an enabler for a conversation that must be said at this time. Really, morally, where are our kids?
Yes, at home.
At home, right?
And we're not with them.
And we're not with them. So I think it's bold for all of us to kind of sit and say internally, what are those things that I need to look at to enable me? But I think we can have everything.
I think, you know, when you say where are
I want everything.
I do want everything too. When you talk about having, you know, a lot of people say to me, oh my gosh, you never get to spend evenings with your kids. And they make it sound like it's such a horrible thing. And then I say, I get to spend the day with my kids. And they're like, oh.
Incredible.
And I say,
I like that.
We're different.
Yeah.
And we all do things differently. Right? By the time I leave home, there's like an hour or two before they sleep.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've kind of defined it and created it for yourself, right? And that's winning in itself.
But that works for me.
I just wanted to say that you know and understand that.
Yes.
And you have created that. And you have created your life in such a way that it is structured in that way. And it allows you and enables you to parent and work the way that is useful for you.
Yes.
You know. And just listening to the both of you now. And of course, being a married woman with children who works, that matters to me too. Now, the all for the single without a child woman is different.
Yeah.
And that is something that we have to consider and appreciate. That her all might not necessarily want to balance the kids. Might not even have kids in the picture.
And it's okay.
And that is her all. And that is okay as well, you know. And just going back to what Lala was saying, we are raising daughters and sons that we are empowering and telling that they can be anything.
Yes.
They can do whatever they want.
Yes.
And they are going out into the world that does not necessarily accommodate that. And that's how they have been, how they have been raised, you know.
That's how they've been socialized.
That's how my daughters are leaving home having been raised that way. But the game is different outside because it does not necessarily accommodate that which they've been taught and how they've been raised, you know. And that's when the imposter syndrome
comes in.
Absolutely.
I worry about, I mean, for example, when we talk about having it all, there's no way we can talk about it without including the patriarchal system that we live in. There's no, especially if we're talking about women having it all, because for some reason it looks like it's got to be defined by a man. or it's got to be defined by the standards of what a man who's having it all looks like. You could be with your husband in the house and he could be having it all too, and you are having it all too, separately, and then you have it all together, and that's okay.
Or not.
Or not. Or not.
I'm reminded when you say that I'm thinking of a quote that I once heard that said, definitions belong to the definers and not the defined.
True.
So when
Very
you're
true.
saying who's actually asking the question,
Yes.
if can we have it all?
So am I asking it from my point of view as a woman? Or am I asking it as in, when that guy sits there and looks at us, is he saying, oh my gosh, that woman is not doing what I think is, should be doing. I mean, people will say, you're driving home so late at night. And I'm like, oh, yeah. You know what I mean? But it's different for all of us. What does all look like to you? So when I say that, waking up in the morning and deciding, yeah, I know you may be hungry. I know you may need this.
Yeah.
But I need a run. So I'm going for a run.
Yeah. I was having this conversation with my daughter, if I can. And I'm not sure if I told my mom that I'm on air, so I wanted to say something, but I must now edit it.
Edit yourself.
Edit myself before.
Now she knows you're editing yourself.
My mom, she's amazing. She's really an amazing woman. Umfonela like 6 times before I wake up. And she expects me to show up in a particular way. And I think we all want to show up in the world.
Sounds like my mom.
Obviously, to please our moms.
Yeah.
But I had to learn to go, this is how I'm going to do it. So what I wanted to talk about is how do we also make the people around us, our network, buy into, and we co-opt them into how my all looks like. Because these are our family members. I'm not being, the conversation that we should be having, and what I was deliberating with myself is that I really want to try better, be a better sister. It's my sister calls me all the time, and I don't return people's calls because it's just so busy.
Yes.
And when I do my own self-reflection, I go, this is where I want to be better at. So I may look like I've got it all together, but there are areas where I do feel like I'm lacking. What does that look like? And the people around me, do they accept my all? So it's so multi-layered and so complex for us to for this conversation. Yeah.
Does your lack define your not having it all in any way? Does your not being able to do one thing mean that others are not
working
or not coming together?
So I'm A-type and I'm a perfectionist. So it's like all boxes need to be ticked.
That's
and
a trauma
that's so
response.
unfair. It's a trauma response.
That's a trauma response.
Completely. That I'm so aware of. So it's not.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting next to a life coach here.
Awareness is key.
Awareness is everything.
So it's that work that one has to do.
We like that.
Awareness is everything.
Yeah.
So in again, because I'm going to be stuck on defining, but I was thinking about the all. So the all for me would be servicing all my areas of responsibilities equally well all of the time.
Yep.
Possible? Hardly.
No. And then again, coaching. What is useful?
Yeah.
What is useful? Because we don't talk about wrong and right. It can't be wrong and right. What is useful? So what is useful would be what is calling for me to show up in a certain way, to what extent at the time. And I allow myself grace to work according to my capacity.
Allowing yourself grace. That's the word that you kind of have to work with.
I've learned
Give
to
yourself
just
grace.
allow myself grace to work according to capacity. What do I have capacity for?
Question, ladies. Allowing yourself grace is important. It's probably the best thing you could do for yourself, right? But not only for self. I think we also have to allow ourselves to be what other people don't think we are. And it's okay. So we should allow ourselves to choose what we want to choose and fail in their eyes and still walk proudly and be okay. Why is it that other people's failures, or what they deem failure, or what they deem not good enough, why is it that it defines us so much? What's going on? Why are we defined by, Nhlanhlo says, a good woman must. Lala says, to be a good mom, I must. Therefore, I'm not doing what they're doing. Oh my goodness, I'm a bad mom. That can't be.
So it got back to what Lala was saying, because my mom is an early riser, and she brought us up to be early risers. And so she would wake, and she still continues to phone you at like 5 o'clock.
In the morning?
In the morning.
So
when I wake up, when I pick up the phone,
But
I'll
also,
say,
how's the volume?
no, but because she's been up a long time ago. Because she's been up since 3
Like,
o'clock.
was Ali interested? No, Ali interested. I'm like, I genuinely am. I just can't
She's up
right
at
now.
3:30, you know. So I pick up the phone and I say, "Hello, ma." Like I've been awake, because otherwise it will be usalele. Right?
at 5:30 in the morning?
Absolutely, yes. And I had to get to a point where, yes, it is okay for me to be sleeping.
Yes, Nhlanhlo.
Because I slept a lot later than you did.
No.
Because I was doing this, and that.
In fact, and hold on, right there, Nhlanhlo, right there. They're having to justify why we are doing things.
Well, I'm scared of my mom. To be honest. It's an ongoing joke in my house.
Let me tell you. No. Your mother has it all. Right now, we can say if there's one woman who has it all.
She's definitely got it all.
She's even gotten you at your age still
No.
scared. That's beautiful.
I'm not going to lie. I'm scared. My kids always say, "You scared of Coco?"
Yeah.
Yes, I'm scared of Coco.
But there's something that you just said now. It's crazy that we all, experience this. But there's something that you said earlier, Mapaseka, in terms of, how much we take on in terms of people's perceptions and what we have to live up to. And it's such a pity, and I think we still have such a long way to go.
Yeah.
Because it only comes after self-actualization. When you are okay to say, it's okay, that can pass me. Or no, that's not me. You see, the freedom in discipline is understanding that that's not for me, and I can say no.
And it's okay.
And it's okay, and no matter who, but it takes so long, and it takes pain to recognize that freedom, because I can say that because of what I've been through.
Of course.
So you have to do so much work
Absolutely.
But
until you get that freedom to go, it's okay.
But we could actually work on that for those coming behind us, the
Yes.
youngins, like children, all of them.
Yeah.
To say you actually don't have to go through the pain. You can actually start understanding it better if we talk about it. When you talk about self-actualization, guys, I think Maslow must revise, or maybe I should revise it and then call it Mapaseka's hierarchy of needs, or something, something like that. Because here's the thing: Maslow's hierarchy of needs has self-actualization as the highest point, the tiniest point.
Yeah, the tiniest point.
I think that's probably the biggest thing you need. So I think when we actually get up there, we need to be starting a different pyramid. So where your self-actualization becomes now a bigger space, because now you start learning. Your lessons are different once you reach that self-actualization space, because now your lessons are understanding me without worrying about everybody else, and being okay with not being liked by anybody else, and sex. Let me start
also
again.
okay?
Sex is also okay, but I wasn't going
That
there.
is also fine.
I was not going there. For once in my life, I can say I was not going that direction. But what I wanted to get at is even the self-actualization is a start of growth and development in your space. So it's not the end. It's not the achievement or the apex, the top of it. It's not it. So
Absolutely.
we almost have this, you've achieved it only if you've gotten there. Oh my gosh, then you've had it all.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, that can't be your all.
It can be, and we give so much from empty cups because we want to please so many people.
And that's a trauma response on its own.
Then we look like we have it all.
But that cup is so empty. But I can't even define the cup, so I don't even know that it's empty, and so you're just going. And so what happens is that your body starts to respond outside of you. You'll start to have panic attacks outside of your own willingness.
Your body starts fighting you.
No. Proper. It will start to say, it's fine, you want to do that.
No, it actually says,
we're going to do that.
We're not doing anything.
We're not coming to the party.
We're sleeping.
And that's what's going to happen.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go have your party.
So
We're
there's
sleeping.
dangers underlying that, and us wanting to show up. So that's why I say it's so complex, because I would hope and I would want to have the space and the ability to dream that I can become whatever I want to be. And so I can have it all. So in my mind, I can have it all once I've defined, and I continue to define what that looks like for me, and I can have it all. But as I say, what are the enabling things around me? But internally, that joy, because it's not and what I'm working on right now is that cause and effect. I don't want to be happy because I've attained this, or I have this. Internally, how can I? And it's so much work. And it's so
ongoing work.
When you meet it, it's so horrible because you have to be brutally honest with yourself.
You have to sit in front of the mirror. So I think actually that my having it all, you were asking definitions, my having it all is more the internal. If I can smile with what is internal, so I can sit and look in the mirror and say, baby girl, you are doing awesome.
Yes.
And really mean it.
Yes.
And really mean it.
And really mean it.
Yes.
Not just say it for show, but really mean it. That for me is having it all. So
I like that.
It's for me. They both say I like that.
No, I like that. I like that.
Let's do this. Let's take a break. Hold on to that thought. We'll go on just after this.
Call Mapaseka Mokweli now on 086 000 2479. Send your voice notes on WhatsApp to 060 584 2250. Rhythm at Dawn with Mateko Mosido brings you a new movement, the Union Dance with Fang the Rhythm. Every Friday at 5:30 on Radio 2000. Our music, your memories. White Star and Radio 2000 are giving away tickets to the Keep Shining Music Experience, taking place on the 2nd of September at the Altitude Beach in Jersey. For a chance to win tickets to this one-night-only event, call in when you hear Shine On, your White Star, this week between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. and you could be a winner. Catch Gamompela, Moby Dixon, Malay, Tabe, and many more. Our own A.B. DaCosta will be broadcasting live from the Altitude Beach. White Star is a proud supporter of South African music. Remember, when it's time to shine, shine on your White Star. T's and C's on radio2000.co.za. Radio 2000, our music, your memories.
For some of us, COVID-19 is still a big issue as it can make us really sick. The good news is we can still get the vaccine to give our bodies the added protection we need. The Pfizer, J&J and the pediatric vaccine are in stock. You can also get other jabs at the same time. Call the National Health Hotline on 0800 029 999 or WhatsApp help to 0600 123 456.
Catch the Life, Love and All podcast on radio2000.co.za. Call Mapaseka Mokweli now on 086 000 2479. Send your voice notes on WhatsApp to 060 584 2250.
All right, so we've got about 17 minutes to go to 8 o'clock. Remember, coming up at 8 o'clock, the news. After the news, we are talking to Dr. Mila and we're talking about the liver. For now, though, I've got two lovely ladies in the studio, two amazing women in the studio. They look it, they sound it, I tell you.
Yes,
They are all of that and our bag of chips. They are all of it. We've got Mkhize, who's a life coach. We also have Lala, Tuku, who's head of local productions here at the SABC. And we are talking about having it all. Can women have it all? What does having it all look like? And I mentioned to you guys just now, and you wanted to add to that. And I said, please hold the thought. When I said to you guys, it's interesting how my all has become about actually being able to say no, and being able to sit in front of the mirror and say, saying no to that. Is that what you wanted? Because sometimes you could be saying no for the sake of saying no. Mm-hmm. So did I say no to that? For example, let's go to a certain place. No, actually, not today. Oh, okay. Am I being horrible? Just in jail? Or actually, I do want to rest. I'm now taking care of me. You know what I mean? And answering those questions honestly, are you okay? And I ask myself all the time. I said, baby girl, are you okay? And then I'll sit and I'll answer. I call myself gorgeous, just by the way.
It's so important.
So yeah, so I'll
you
say,
are also gorgeous.
oh, thank you, darlings. So I'll actually say, I told Siri to call me gorgeous, just by the way. So Siri says, hey, gorgeous, you
Can
have
we
a
do
message.
that?
Call me gorgeous. So I then say, you can do
You
that.
see how Lala and I are disagreeing, and we're not even.
You're like,
Like,
yeah.
so
You're
it's
like, oh,
true.
okay. You see? I love it. Love it. So I'll say to myself, I'll sit in the front of the mirror and be like, gorgeous, how you doing today? And I honestly answer the question, you know? And if there's something troubling me, I'll actually say, yeah, not the best of days. This part is troubling me. Okay. But then I go back and say, right, but how's the day? Because that part may be worrying you, but that's not your day. That's that part.
That part, yeah.
You know? I still
So being
have...
able to isolate.
I still have
guess.
the big page that's clean. That dot doesn't mean the page can't work.
Got it, yeah.
Yeah? You wanted to add to that?
I did. I wish I remembered what it was I wanted to say, because you have just floored me. No, I just wanted to pick back to what Lala said about how you'll remind me about the definer. The
Definitions belong to the
definer.
definers,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
the
Not to the
defined.
fine.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, that's big.
And now I'm wondering, even when we're going to sit down and have the discussion, to somebody else, what did they think the discussion was going to look like? And what was the discussion going to be about in terms of having it all? Because you've just given us your definition of having it all. It had nothing to do with children, had nothing to do with a career, it had nothing, you know. And I think for some reason, the definition of having it all has somehow centered around, for women and not by women, has centered around children,
Career,
family,
yes.
career,
Having a husband.
having a
Yes,
husband,
yes.
not by what
That's
age.
why I was like, what is actually the question?
Exactly, you know, because if I think about having it all in my early 20s, is different to what I would have felt it was in my 30s. It's absolutely different to what I want now.
And right
Absolutely
now,
different.
guys, the 40s are the best.
But I
Trust me
also
when
And
I
I'm
say-
looking forward
But
to the 50s
also, what a
as well.
That
beautiful
too.
world it would be if we all had it all. Because we'd all be just generally happy.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
But how do we know that we don't?
I actually think we can have it all. I
I,
think we're
I also think that we can have it all.
I think
but I
we're
think,
just
remember,
hard
we've
on
got to
ourselves.
define it. Yeah.
I think we're hard on ourselves and we look for the all in everything else. So we look for the all. My children must do this, but that's their all. It's not your all. You are not your children. Yes, you grow them, you raise them, you know what I mean? But you're not your children. They are not you either, just by the way.
And it's,
so,
it's about living your best life.
because once you start thinking
Right
that-
now.
The now.
Yes. So
the
once you start
present.
saying my kids must do 1, 2, and 3 for me to have it all, it means there's also pressure on them.
Yeah.
They need to do 1, 2, and 3 for mommy to be okay. Do you understand? Now that's a cycle that's just so messed up. We are then raising kids who are just always going to be nervous around, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing for mommy, not even for themselves.
And there are
that can't be
musical
right.
instruments all over in my house. Because I wanted my children to learn piano, to learn violin, to do ballet, to play netball, until I realized, girl, learn them yourself.
Yeah,
Because
you
living through the kids.
vicariously so.
Vicariously living through
Let's-
my children.
Let's go through the voice notes.
Well, good evening to all you ladies. Dumelang dikgosigadi. Dumelang bana ba batho ba bantsho. Dumelang lona dikgosigadi. Pasi, to put it in short and perspective, I would say we have that word wall, starting with a W. We don't have all right? The same way your guest said. What is my all? Because my all keeps on changing. We evolve, right? We all have that W. The minute we start losing that W, we keep having eaten, itty bitty of that nugget to get our all. But until we lose that W, we will never get our all. That's how we will evolve, by the way, to get our all at the end. By the way, this is Sir Diamond right here in Rustenburg.
Thank you, Sir Diamond. Very interesting. Thank you very much. Let's go to the next voice note.
Good evening, Mapaseka. For me personally, I don't believe in the statement having it all. I believe you'll always fall short of something. I'll make an example. Code 8, 10, and 14. Common thing, license. But a code 8 driver cannot drive a code 10 and 14 vehicle, Also a code 14 might not drive a public transport because they'll need a PDP. So you'll always fall short of something. So the best position for me to address, I would say, average. I think that's fair enough for me. This is a big Chris from Tata. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Going back to that analogy with the cars, you see, here's the thing. You may look at the code 10 and think it's better. They can't do parallel parking. Code 8 does. Therefore, you would still have it better than a code 10 in a code 8 in that sense. So what I'm trying to say is, again, it goes back to your perspective of what all looks like. Absolutely. Where is all and what is all? So if for you the big thing is I want to drive this big car, I don't care if I can reverse properly into whatever. I literally just have to be able to just move this big vehicle, and that's your all. That's your all. And that's okay. Somebody else can say, I want to drive a little Titanto. My kids call it a Titanto because they say it's so tiny. So if I want to drive a little Titanto, you can do exactly that and park into, do your parallel parking and do it beautifully.
Yeah.
That's your all.
Yeah.
That's okay too.
And if we've got our aspirations for however way you look at life and however way you do life, for example, I'll do a quarterly review on what I said I was going to do for the year. And if I really believe that I'm reaching the goals that I had set out for myself, then
you're doing it okay.
I'm doing it all. I've got it all. Do you know what I mean? In terms of what I had set out to do. So if someone wanted to go and get a degree, or someone really their hopes was, I want to improve on certain things, and those things are happening.
Yeah.
That's you having it all. Because I also think the all kind of makes it so grandeur and so far and so big
and so unattainable.
And then we really want to live for the then, which what we're saying now is the moment. And what does now look like? Us having this conversation,
that's an all.
It's an all, because I'm very passionate about making sure that there's space for women. So having this opportunity is then this is all. This is really the opportunity to say, how do we break those boundaries and how do we start the conversation?
But that's why it's also personal.
Yeah.
Because if I just think of what the second caller said about falling short, and the having it all and the definition for me is important, because the power comes in the intention and in being intentional and deliberate about it. Because what it is that you have as your all, if it is powered or empowered by intention, that this is where I'm at and this is what I am working on intentionally. It might look like it's not all from outside or from somebody else. Take stay-at-home mom, for example. A choice, intention, that you've deliberately made a decision to be a stay-at-home mom for whatever reason, be it to look after your home, your family, your whatever, and that is your all, because that is what you have set out to do. It's useful for you. You have made that decision
at that moment.
And somebody else might look at it and look at you falling short. You are giving up on career or whatever the case might be, but that your intention, you took a decision to do that, and that is your all.
Academia has, it must be very interesting. I find it very interesting. Academia for me is the one thing that says all is difficult if you only have this point that you're looking at. So you find people saying, I want to have a PhD, Dr. Mama, and they attain that. And the minute they do, they go out and they want professorship. How many people do you know who have a degree and then they say, if I can get a degree, then I can get this job? I'm like, hold on, let me get an honors. But if I can get an MBA, because the all changes all the time.
It's the evolving.
It's the evolving. It doesn't mean when they attained it then they didn't have their all. It could have been their all at that moment.
Can we talk about something?
Let's hear. I want to hear it.
No, because I'm just listening to you attaining, right? And I think I struggle with, or rather a colleague of mine, after I achieve something. So as I say, tick box, I write down, this is what I want to. After achieving it, I get to such a plunge of depression afterwards, after achieving that big thing that I wanted to set. And I had to be like, what is this? I can't get out of bed.
That bad.
After achieving. And someone said to me, no, man, I think they call that climber's fatigue.
Yes.
Like it's actually got
exactly
Yes.
And
exactly
I was
what
like,
it
but
is.
I'm going to keep reaching all these. And until I got to understand it and until I got to break it down for myself. So I'm just saying and adding to the breaking down for ourselves, and for someone else it could be anything else.
I love
But the importance of making sure I can understand for myself.
For you. I love how the
Absolutely.
coaches came out here. We were
Very
like,
quick.
yeah.
Very
There,
quick.
there.
Before she finished
we were both like,
we knew
that's it.
exactly what was
We
going
know
on.
exactly where you're going with that one.
Yeah,
Let's
so-
go to, that's very important. And that's self-understanding.
and we never get to talk about it.
That's very important.
Because everybody's still saying, congratulations, where are you?
And
I
yeah,
didn't
and
want to-
it's congratulations, and then what?
I'm like, and now what?
What's
Yeah,
next?
exactly.
Which my son says,
Let's
now
go
what?
to the voice notes.
Good evening, house Mapaseka, house Nhlanhlo, and house Lala. Wow, I admire all of you. And just to mention my late mom's name, in Lala.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm so happy to listen to you, just sharing wisdom with us. You know, I think I'm still struggling with the fact that I'm not too honest with myself sometimes. For the fact that I'm still where I am, even though I know that I'm not my circumstances. You know, and sometimes it's hard. It is hard for me to tell myself that I will achieve, I will reach my goals. You know, I will be successful and prosperous and live in abundance, because that's what I want for myself. And I want to be able to look in the mirror tomorrow and say, you know what, you can do it. You can do this. You've got this. Have a beautiful evening.
That's
I love
lovely.
you.
Thank you. That's lovely.
Wow.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
It takes so much courage to even put on a WhatsApp line for the things
Yeah.
that she's just said.
Yeah.
And that was just so affirming and so warm. And the fact that her mom was Lala is just amazing. It's so amazing. But I think for me, she's already won. I didn't get her name, but for me, it's like winning.
Lala's daughter.
Lala's daughter. She's won because that's the grace that we speak about when we say we give ourselves a grace. Her saying she wants the abundance, she's already claiming it, so she's
Yeah.
already got it.
That's already going for it.
Yes, everyone is standing on the other side of the line and she's coming for it. She's there, so it's already there.
Yeah. Important that.
That's
All right.
amazing.
Last voice note.
Good evening, ladies. How are you doing? Hope you're good. I don't think I have it all, but I make it happen, right? And for instance, as Mapaseka did say, people don't know ask Kuti, how do you work at night? You don't spend time with your kids. I mean, in my case, I work night shift 6 to 6. So people, they think I hardly spend time with my kids, but they don't know because they're not in my space, because I got it covered. And what works for you won't work for what works for me won't work for you, and then what works for you won't work for me. Me, I sleep during the day, wake up at 11, past 12 I'm out of the house, 1 o'clock I'm at the parking lot in the school. The entire afternoon I make it happen to spend time with my kids. So that's my take.
You see, again, defining it herself. I love that.
But she's got it all.
But it's also amazing how our having it all, somehow the kids are just at the center. At the center,
Right.
at the center of it all, you know. Again, a personal thing, you know. I really, one thing that I would like one to take away from our discussion is the importance of defining what your all looks like, and then being intentional about it. Because if I sit without a discussion and just think about the answer to the question, I would probably say, yes, you can have it all, but perhaps not all of it all at once.
And that's okay too.
And that's okay too.
And you heard what she said. One of the big things that I took out from the last caller is that people would say, So there's so much judgment.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we're also burdened by
the judgment.
people.
And wanting to explain and answer to people.
And so self becomes so
So
important.
relieving yourself of that judgment, relieving yourself of the having to explain. You
Mm.
know, I was talking to a friend of mine over the weekend and I said to her, the power of not having to explain. Somebody sees something or says something and you're like, okay. And you're like, you want to take it? You want to run with it? Go, baby. Whole marathon. Cinderella, if that shoe fits,
Wear it.
wear it, baby. Run.
I thought there was a network issue when I asked a question and someone just said no, and I was like, "Are they gonna come back and explain?" I was like, and it was an international colleague, and I was like, "Wow, okay." I put the phone down. I was like, "Wabona King, from now on, Linaki." No,
No is a full
an
sentence. Guys.
No.
No is a full sentence. It's done.
I
It's
love
8
it.
o'clock, guys. Can you believe it? Time's like all
This has
flown.
been
It's
amazing.
been an
Thank you so
amazing
much.
hour. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
ladies, for
Really
being here.
Thank you
Really
for having us.
appreciate
It's been
it.
great.
Lala, Tuku, and Nhlanhlo Mkhize. Thank you guys for being here. It's been amazing. You're back again soon, just by the way. Just letting you guys know.
Okay.
We'll have you back again very, very soon. It's 8
We'd love
o'clock.
that. We'd love that.
Yes, please. It's 8 o'clock and it's time for the news. We'll be back just after that with Mind, Body and Soul.
Life, love, and all every Monday to Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. with Mapaseka on Radio 2000. If you missed it, catch the rewind on radio2000.co.za.
SABC News. Independent and impartial.
Top stories at 8. More damning allegations against Magudumana and charges of culpable homicide brought against Lord Mkhize.